Okay guys, I want to tell you another story. This one is about work. I work in a mine, and I came out here as an electrician, but I'd always been interested in safety because it looks so dang easy. It's this guy that walks around and says, hey, don't do that. Hey, put your hard hat on. Hey, here's a new pair of safety glasses. Stuff like that. In the morning, he gives a safety meeting and reminds everybody, picks a topic like ladder safety or whatever, different subjects. And I had always been interested in doing that job because it's easy on the back, and being an electrician is sometimes not so easy on the back. So, it also is a better paying job and whatever. So I put in a resume when I first hired on with this company, and after a while, after about 4 months, they promoted me to safety, from electrician to safety. And I started working with this guy, and we got on great. At first, he was a Marine, you kind of have, even though I was just National Guard, when you're in the armed services, you kind of can make friends with people pretty easy because you have that same sort of mentality, I guess. And I don't know what happened. I really don't know when we started not liking each other very much. But I think I know. You know what? I think I know. He used to brag about himself a lot. He had all these certificates. He'd been to all these OSHA classes. And then I was like, cool. And he'd been a cop, and he'd been a detective, and he'd been a Marine, and he'd been an interrogator, and he would just, I can only listen to someone brag about what they've done for so long before I say, this guy might be lying about everything. And the moment that I really thought that he was lying was when he busted out a 3-ring binder and he showed me a degree from MIT. And this is a guy who I sit next to in the office, who I watch type everything with 2 fingers. And then he showed me this degree from MIT, and I was like, no, that's not true. You don't get out of MIT and not learn to type. So that's when I was like, this guy just talking because he likes to feel cool. This fog's gonna really put a number on my camera. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to post this, but I can't even see out my helmet now. Anyways, so after that, I just kind of tried to avoid him, and usually when you get promoted to safety, you get a company vehicle. But because I was going through training, I had no company vehicle. And I was fine with that. I was happy with my new job, and I was learning a new trade, and I was just going to share, ride with this other guy when he went somewhere. So one day he tells me, we stopped liking each other. I stopped listening to his stories and being amazed because I felt like he was full of it. And one day he told me, Ryan, you spend too much time in the office. And I was like, but we ride in the same truck. So when you leave, I leave. So we spend the same amount of time in the office. And I said, dude, you're supposed to train me how to do this job. And I see you take a drive in the morning to the job sites, and then sit in the office the rest of the day, and then take a drive in the afternoon. And so that's what I think is normal, and that's what I do. I do what you do. So if that's wrong, then maybe we both need to spend too much time in the office. If I need to spend the whole day out there, then just tell me, and that's what I'll do. I'm trying to do a good job here. After that, the guy smokes, so sometimes he would go outside to have a smoke. Sometimes he'd go outside to have a smoke and get in his car and drive away and purposely leave me at the office so he could later point out to everyone, hey, look how much time he spends in the office. And I was just in a really bad situation there. And when I was an electrician, I'd wake up and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go to work. I got a job. I'm happy to be working. I'm making money. There's a lot of people out of work, and I'm not one of those guys, and it made me really happy. But when I was safety and I had to wake up in the morning and I knew I was going to work with this guy, I was miserable, and I hated it. Oh, I gotta listen if there's any cars coming. I don't think so. Pretty foggy in here. So after a while, the project manager called me in his office, and he said, "Hey, it's not working out with safety. It seems like you guys have a bit of a personality conflict over there," and he fired me from safety, but put me back with the electrician. So I was disappointed that happened, but I was also very relieved that I still had a job and that I didn't have to work with this guy anymore. I mean, we're still out on the same project, but we don't speak to each other, we don't have anything to do with each other, so that part of it is nice. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed because you hate to fail at something or feel like you failed at something, but that guy did more to get me fired than he ever did to train me, and that was kind of frustrating. Anyways, that's a True Story Sunday about working in a mine. It really opened my eyes to the politics of working at a place like this, and how important it is to be good at that, and how bad I am at it. I just want to do my job and be left alone, but there's a certain amount of ass kissing that goes into certain jobs, and that helped me realize that safety just isn't for me. If that's part of the job, then it isn't for me. I think I'm going to go back to my house now, guys, because it's so foggy. I'm certain that I'll be killed if I keep riding out here. I'm sorry for the water condensation building up here, but it's just foggy, and that's what happens. It's nature, alright? It's science. If you have a problem with it, I'm sorry, but it's science. Anyways, this has been a True Story Sunday. Ride safe, travel far, do it soon.